Hey, what's up YouTube? In this video, I'll be showing you how to make my wooden house number 6. Or is it 7? It might even be 5. Let's go with 6 though. If you want to make it, here's what you're going to need. You will need some spruce wood, some birchwood planks, you'll need some birchwood stairs, also grab both types of glass, you'll also want to pick up some nether brick fence, and finally, if you plan on using this as some sort of house, you'll want to grab some kind of door. So once you have each one of those materials right there, and once you've figured out where you want to make it, I'll be making it right here, you'll want to kick off your house with a row of 5 spruce wood coming directly up from the floor. So that's 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And once you have your row of 5 spruce wood, you then want to take this 5th spruce wood block, and you want to go right of it with your spruce wood by 6. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and I want this 6th block to be vertical 6. And what you then want to do with this 6th block is just connect it to the ground to form an archway shape, like this. What you then want to do once you've formed this shape is come back up to this 6th block, and you want to go right of this block by a further 6. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and again I want this 6th block to be vertical 6. And then connect that 6th block to the ground to give us a double archway. But we're not stopping there. Once you have your double archway, you then again want to come to this 6th block, and you want to go right of it by an even further 6. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and again, 6th block, I want it to be vertical 6, and connect it to the ground to give us what is now a nice little triple archway. And once you've reached this point right here, this is what you want to do next. So you want to take each one of these connection points here, where we have the vertical spruce wood, where the vertical row of spruce wood connects to the horizontal row of spruce wood, where we have these 4 connection points, and you want to drag them towards you by using your spruce wood, and you want to do 4 rows of 6 spruce wood coming towards you from each one of these points. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and again I want these 6 blocks to be vertical like that. And you just want to do exactly that with these other 3 points. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. 2 more. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Just got this last one. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. And what you then want to do once you have these 4 rows of spruce wood is you want to connect these 6 blocks to the ground, and you also want to connect these 6 blocks all together to form kind of like a grid shape. So I'm just connecting them all to the ground first of all, and then you just want to connect them all together. And I'm just using horizontal rows of spruce wood. However, you can place your spruce wood vertically or any way that you really want to. It's just for my personal own aesthetic purposes that I'm placing the spruce wood vertical and horizontally where I choose. So what you want to end up with is this kind of grid shape right here. And once you have reached this point, you now want to do this. So we're going to be adding a bit of an extension on top of our grid. So what you essentially want to do, where we have each one of these 8 vertical spruce wood that we can see poking up out of the top of our grid, you want to, on top of each one of those vertical spruce wood, do 8 rows of 4 spruce wood coming directly up from these spruce wood. So 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Keep missing, I keep getting too close. But you guys get the point. On top of each one of these vertical spruce wood, you just want to add a row of 4 spruce wood coming directly up from them. So, just as I'm doing now, just finished, that's the 8th one. You just want to end up with 8 rows of 4 spruce wood just coming out of the base of that grid shape. And once you do have your 8 rows of spruce wood, you then just want to connect them all together in a very similar pattern as you have on the ground floor. So just go all the way around and connect them all together all the way around, and then you just want to do the 2 rows connecting the front and the back together as well. So where we have these rows connecting here, and where we have the same thing here as well. So you just want to end up, whoops, horizontal, you just want to end up with something that should look a little bit like this. We're not done. Once you've done that once, you now want to do the exact same thing, but on top of the second grid, the second floor of our grid shape. So now coming up to the top of the second floor of our grid, you now want to take each one of these vertical spruce wood again, and you want to raise them each up by 4 once more. So, you know, just go all the way around and raise up each one of these vertical spruce wood each by a row of 4 spruce wood, and then we'll do the exact same thing that we've just done. We'll then connect them all together, and then actually we've just got one more thing to do with this, and then we can move on a little bit. So as you guys can see, I've once more ended up with 8 rows of 4 spruce wood coming out of the second floor of our grid shape, and now I just want to connect them together, as I said. So I'm just going to go all the way around, connect them together, and then I'll just have to connect the front and the back. So I've just got the 2 rows to do there, and then I've just got a little section to add to the middle, and then we'll move forward a little bit and it won't be too time consuming. So just got the front and the backs to connect now, like that. So as you guys can see, just as what we've done before, it is the exact same thing, just stacked directly on top of what we've just done. And once you've reached this point right here, we just have one more thing to do now. So we're going to be doing something similar to what we've done, except we're only going to be doing it to this middle square section here. So on top of what is now the 3rd floor of our grid shape, and what's going to be the 3rd floor of our house, you want to take each one of these 4 spruce wood, these 4 corner spruce wood, and raise them each up by 4. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, and 1, 2, 3, 4. And then you just want to connect each one of them together, and this is going to be the 4th floor of the house. Well, 4th floor, it's just one room, but still, 4 floors. Whoops, I can't place it sideways, come on. There we go. So you want to end up with something which should look, in total, a little bit like this, cow and pig included. Once you've reached this point right here, you now get to decide where you want the front of your house to be. We can have it on this side right now, or you can have it on the other side. I know a lot of you guys like to know where the entrance is going to be, and let's say that this is the front of the house. The entrance is going to be somewhere around here. It's going to be placed somewhere around here. I know that a lot of you guys like to know where the entrance is going to be, where the front's going to be. We haven't decided yet, this side or that side, but this is going to be the front of my house, and once you have reached this point right here, this is what you want to do now. So come down to the bottom of your grid shape, and what you essentially want to do is we're going to add an extra extension on. So you want to take each one of these 4 connection points that we have on the bottom of our grid, and you want to extend them towards you, each by 6. So kind of how we did in the beginning, how we extended these forward by 6, well, we're doing the exact same thing again. So from here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and the 6th block vertical, 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6, 2 more, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. And then you just want to connect each one of those 6 blocks together, and then you want to connect them to the ground. So just as I'm doing now, and I recognise it's getting quite dark, this has taken quite a while, although this house it's kind of big actually. So just connecting them each to the ground and connecting them together just as I'm doing now. And you know what, before it does actually get dark, I wouldn't mind finishing this section off, but nah, you know what, I can wait, it doesn't matter. I'll be back in a moment once it's nice and light again and we can crack on with this section. Alright guys, so once you've taken care of that ground floor extension, you now want to do pretty much the exact same thing now on the second floor. So coming up to the second floor, and I know that you guys have done this a few times already, but just to run you through it quickly again, you want to take each one of these connection points that we have on the second floor here and bring them towards you each by 6 with your spruce wood. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and 6. And finally 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and 6. And then you just want to connect each one of those 6 blocks to the ground, or actually in this case you want to connect them to the lower part of the extension. So you just want to end up with this. Now this is where I'd usually tell you to connect each one of the 6 blocks together. However, you don't want to do that. You only want to connect the outer sections together. So you want to connect the left and right hand sections of the extension together like this, and you want to leave this little middle section completely empty. You guys will see why a little later on. So you just want to end up with something that should look a little bit like that. And that is the middle section of the house taken care of. Once you've reached this point right here, all we have to do now is the very front of the house. So we're going to be doing something very similar again. So coming back down to the bottom of the extension again, you now want to put an extension on your extension. So again, coming down to the bottom here, you now want to take each one of these 4 connection points and you want to extend them towards you each by 6. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and 6. And finally 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and 6. Had to make sure that first one was horizontal. And then again you just want to connect these 6 blocks to the ground, and then very much how the second floor extension went, you don't want to connect each of these 6 blocks together, you just want to connect the outer sections together. So this left and right hand side you just want to connect together, and you guys will see why a little later on. Basically the reason is the entrance is right here. I was very close with the spruce wood that I placed earlier to guesstimate where the entrance would be. It's going to be right here, and this is just going to be a little walkway in there. So once you've finished that very final extension, you want to be left with something that should look a little bit like this. It's kind of a big house, right? Well, it's small and big, it's a weird house, but you want to end up with something that should look a little bit like this. Just to show you guys a side view, see how it is. It's much easier to see in view once it's all filled in, but of course, it might benefit you now to see how the structure of the house works out. However, once you have reached this point right here, this is the next thing on our agenda, and this is a very small thing. So what you now want to do is you want to go all around the base of the house, and you essentially just want to add a row of spruce wood that goes all around the bottom of the house, just connecting each one of the spruce wood pillars together. So if you guys can see what I'm doing, I'm just going all around the outside of the framework, and I'm just doing rows of spruce wood connecting all of the spruce wood pillars that we have together all the way around the house. I'm almost done actually, just to give us something which should look a little bit like this, just to give you guys a bit of a tour now. You don't have to do it for the inside of the house, but for aesthetic purposes we need to do it to the outside of the house, so you guys can see exactly what I've done there. I've just went all around the house and I've just connected each one of those bottom blocks together. Alright guys, so once you've reached this point right here, once you've just finished going all the way around your house, it's now time for us to move on to the next stage, which is going to be the roofs. There's a few of them, so come all the way up to the top of your house, all the way at the back here, And first of all, before we actually start doing the roofs, we've got a couple of preparations. So take out your birchwood planks, and where we have this room all by its lonesome at the top of your house, you just want to fill the left and right hand sides of that room in with your birchwood planks. It'll just make placing the roof, or roofs I should say, a little bit easier. So you just want to have something which should look like that. And once you've done that, you now want to come over to the upper left hand side of your house, right here. Take out your spruce wood, and starting from on top of this block that I have highlighted, I can't give you any better instructions than that, on top of this block that I have highlighted, place a spruce wood. Followed by 2 upright diagonals from that wood, so that's 1 and 2. You then want to connect this back down to the framework with diagonals, so whichever way you want to do that, up or down, completely up to you. It's personally easier for me to build upwards rather than downwards. So what you essentially want to end up with is a triangular shape, like this, with your spruce wood. And once you've formed that, you now want to take out your birchwood stairs, and starting from the outer part of the framework right here, you kind of just want to build up birchwood stairs on the outer parts of your triangle. So you just want to end up with something that should look like that. So you're just using your spruce wood as kind of a template as to where to place your stairs. And once you have got your stairs placed, this is what you want to do next. You kind of just want to extend your stairs towards the center of your house, towards where we have that room all by its lonesome, and that's exactly why we placed these birchwood planks on the left and right hand side of the room. It just makes placing these a little bit easier. I really wish that I could place these stairs the right way up. It's actually starting to really bug me. I can never place them the right way up. There's kind of a trick to it. You've got to place it on the bottom part, and I always fail that. So you just want to, on both sides of your stairs, you just want to extend them towards the center of your house there, and they just want to connect right there to the birchwood planks that we placed on the left and right hand sides of that room. So you just want to end up with something that should look a little bit like this. And once you've got that taken care of, you now want to do this. We're just going to pretty up the roof a little bit. So you just want to, first of all, this little section that we have here, you just want to fill it in like this. Where we have those 4 spaces right there, you just want to place essentially a glass pane in the center, and then just place birchwood planks all around it. And then you just want to take all of these stairs that we have here, and you want to extend them over by 1, so that they're overhanging the side of the house by 1 like this, just as I'm doing now. So like that. You now want to destroy this spruce wood block that we have here, and you want to move it to here on the outer part of the roof, and then you just want to fill in the center part with horizontal spruce wood, or you might not. I prefer the spruce wood to be horizontal like this, looking down upon it. And once you've done that, all you have to do now is just go under each one of those spruce wood stairs that we have hanging over, and you just want to place an upside down stair underneath them. So just to give you guys the side view, this is exactly what you want to have. Very simple indeed. So just to give you guys a couple of views, this is what it should look like. Quite simple indeed. And once you've taken care of that on the left hand side of your house, surprise surprise, you want to do the exact same thing on the right hand side of the house now. So coming all the way over to the right hand side, we're doing exactly, and I mean exactly, the same thing that we've just done on the left hand side. So starting from here, we just want to form our triangular spruce shape, just as we did on the other side of the house. I'm going to be doing this a little quicker, guys, because I don't think that it's particularly complicated, and I've already ran you through it the once. So you just want to start off with your triangular spruce wood formation. You then want to do your birchwood stairs on the outer parts of your spruce wood, coming all the way down to the top of the framework of the house. Then extend the stairs coming towards the center of your house, where we have the lonesome room, as I'm calling it. It's a bit of a loner, there's no more. Like this. Just got the other side to do now. And of course, once we've done this, we just have to pretty up the roof a bit by extending it over the end of the house by 1. doing a bit of spruce wood on the top of it. There we go, that's the front and the back of the roof taken care of. So now we'll just do this center part, which is just a glass pane in the middle with birchwood planks all around it like that. Now to do the overhanging part of the roof, like this. Now to do the top part, we place a spruce wood block here in line with the overhanging part of the roof. We destroy that one, and then we do a horizontal row of spruce wood, like that. And then all we have to do is upside down stairs underneath the overhanging parts of the roof. So you just want to end up with something that should look exactly like this. Very easy indeed. It's the exact same as the other roof. Very standard, I think. So once you've taken care of the right hand side of the roof now, all we have to do is the final roof, which is actually all the way up on top of this large center part of the house, the little lonesome room all by itself. And it is actually a carbon copy of the two roofs that we've just done, except it's placed a little differently. So coming up to the top of our house, take out your spruce wood, and again, we've done this 2 times already, but from here you just want to do your triangular formation of spruce wood on the front of your house, and you want to do the exact same thing on the back as well. So on the back here you just want to form like a little triangular formation with your spruce wood, just as to guide the birchwood stairs like that, so on the front and the back. You then want to do your birchwood stairs kind of just on the sides of your spruce wood, like this. And the birchwood stairs in this case also want to start on like the side of the top of the framework here. So I can't place them right, can I? Come on! There we go, they're the right way up now. So just place your birchwood stairs tracing along the sides of your spruce wood like this. Now we just have to fill in these two little center sections that we have on the front and the backs of the house, just as we've done a few times before. Glass pane in the center, birchwood all around like that. We now just have to extend the stairs over the sides of the house by 1 row on either side, just as I'm doing now. Kind of complicated for me. I can never place them right. See, I can't place the roofs right. I'm sorry that I'm being quiet. It's because I'm concentrating. Once you've got both sides of the roofs overhanging, you now want to place your extra spruce wood block in line with the overhanging parts of the roofs, and then destroy the one that sits behind it. And then we just have to connect those two spruce wood together with a horizontal row of spruce wood. And now all we have to do is just upside down stairs underneath the overhanging row of stairs. And there you'll have it. Once you've just done the underhanging row of stairs, you'll end up with something that should look a little bit like this, to give you guys a front view. As I mentioned, it's the exact same thing as the previous two roofs, except of course we've got the other side to deal with, as it doesn't just connect to the center of the house, and the back should be 100% identical to the front. And once you've taken care of those, it's time for us to move on to the next step, which we'll be doing once it's nice and light again. It's getting a little bit dark. I'll be back in a moment and we will move on to the rest of the house. Alright guys, so once you've taken care of each one of the 3 roofs of your house, it's now time for us to move on to the next stage. It's balcony time. Let me show you where these things are. So, to give you guys an aerial view, looking down on the extensions, each one of the tops of those extensions sits a balcony. There's 5 of them. First of all, we've got to fill each one of the tops of the balconies in with birchwood planks, which is what I'm doing right now. I'm not going to cut this out, so I'm going to have to be pretty quick about this. Filling in large volumes and large areas usually takes quite a bit of time, and I'd prefer not to add like 5 minutes onto this tutorial, but it shouldn't be too long, unless I keep messing up as I am. There we go. Had a little trouble finding the middle balcony there. But just to show you guys very quickly where they are, reason that I've just filled these 3 in first. As you can see, that's where the balconies are going to be, and obviously on the right hand side as well. So on the left hand side, those 2 extensions, that middle extension there sitting in between everything on top of the entrance, and of course these 2 right hand sides as well. And you want to fill the tops of each of them in with birchwood planks, just as I'm doing now. So just fill the tops of each one of the extensions in with birchwood planks, just as I have done. So you just want to end up with something that should look a little bit like this. Very easy. What you now want to do is you just want to add some nether brick fence going all the way around the tops of your balcony like this. So you just want to, except for this middle one, you just want to have fence going in front of it like that. You don't want it to be on the left or the right hand side, so we're going to be filling that in with something. But on every single other one of the balconies, you just want to do nether brick fence wrapping all the way around the outsides of your balcony like this. So we've just got one more to do now. You just want to end up with something that should look a little bit like this. Doesn't that look fancy? So that is what you want to have for the 5 balconies. What we're now going to do is we're just going to fill all of the panels that exist on the front of the house, and then we'll probably end up quick building the left hand side of the house, the right hand side of the house, and the back of the house. But for the front of the house, it's a little bit different. So we're now going to go all the way around the front, and we're going to fill in all of the sections on the front of the house in with their individual materials. So on the very front of the house here, where we have these two front-facing panels, you want to fill both of them in like this. Very simple indeed. I'm not going to try and run you guys through this. I'm just going to show you the end result of what you actually have to do to each one of these individual little sections that you have to fill in. So you want to fill the front left-hand section of the extension in like that, and you want to fill in the right hand side like that as well. As a matter of fact, I might do both of them and then show you guys the end result just to save a little bit of time. So both of the front facing extensions of the house right there want to be filled in like that. Very simple colour scheme indeed, very simple block scheme, shouldn't be too complicated for you. Pause this if necessary, apply it to yours, you'll be golden. Now, let's take care of these 2 little side sections and then the actual entrance to the house. So, these side sections that we have here on the sides of the panels that we've just filled in, you just want to do a strip of spruce wood that separates the top and the bottom, so just going horizontally through the center of the panel like that, and then you just want to do glass pane on top of and below the spruce wood like this. So, you just want to end up with something that should look a little bit like this. Very simple indeed. Now for the entrance. So, for the entrance, first of all, you just want to knock out this middle block and place a door there, or you might not want the door. I don't really like doors. And then all around the door, you just want to do spruce wood. So you kind of just want to do a door frame sort of thing, like that. And then you just want to place glass pane all the way around it. So this is what you want for the grand entrance of your house. So you just want to have something which should look a little bit like this, just to show you how the left and the right hand side pieces together with the actual entrance of the house. Very simple. Once you've got that whole ground floor taken care of, we can now move up to the second floor. So the second floor isn't completely dissimilar. We'll take care of these 2 front extensions first. So this is what you want to do, and these are also entrances onto the balcony. None of this is difficult, by the way, which is why I'm doing this quite rapidly. That's why I'm not trying to take any time to explain it. It's a very small amount of blocks that you have to worry about. And I think that you guys are smart enough and observant enough to not need me to baby you through the whole process of placing 9 little blocks. So that is what you want to have for the 2 entrances onto your 2 balconies. Very easy. You've got the door in the center, spruce wood either side, glass pane either side of that, and you've got a glass block on top of your 2 entrances. Just to give you guys a closer look, that is all you want to have. Very simple indeed. Now, once you've taken care of those 2 entrances, you now just have to take care of this entrance onto this middle balcony and the left-hand sides here. So, left-hand side of the panels, actually the exact same as the 2 panels next to the actual main entrance. You've just got your center strip of spruce wood going horizontally across the panel, and then you've just got your glass pane above and below it like this. So, you've already done this before, very easy. Like that. And now for the entrance, it's actually the exact same as the other 2 entrances on top of the other 2 balconies. You've got the door in the center, spruce wood either side, glass block on top of the door, and then glass pane everywhere else. And just to show you guys how this little center part pieces together, there you have it. Very easy. And just to show you guys the whole floor, that's the whole floor. Once you've taken care of the 2nd floor of the house, and as always, pause this if necessary, if you're still working on that of course, we now get to move on to the 3rd and then eventually the 4th floor. The 4th floor is very easy. So, the 3rd floor, first of all, taking care of the 2 entrances onto the 2 balconies. These are very similar to what we've done already, except we've got the addition of, instead of having a glass block here, we've got a further spruce wood just above the door. So we've got the door in the center, the spruce wood either side of it again, but instead of the glass block, we've got the spruce wood there instead. And then we've just got the glass pane either side, just as we've always had. So I'll take care of this left one and then right one and then show you them both together. Kind of awkward to place spruce here, actually. Little closed in. Makes me wish I would have done the roof after I would have filled in all of these panels, but I'm going to very quickly take care of this, or as quick as I can. It's taking quite a while. Probably add in loads and loads of time onto the video, but you've got to do what you've got to do. So there you go. That is what you want to have for the 2 entrances. Very easy. Nothing complicated about those whatsoever. And once you've taken care of those, this is what you now want to do to these 2 front-facing panels on the front of the house. You're actually very much doing something similar to what we did with the first 2 panels. I apologise about that. We're doing something very similarly to what we did to the first 2 panels. Let me turn that off. I'm not stopping the video. Except we're kind of just reversing it a little bit. So instead of having glass pane in the center of the panel, we're putting birchwood planks in the center, and then we're putting glass pane on the outside of the panel like this. So you want to not only do that for that panel, but you also want to do the same thing to the one just above it like this. So just going to do the birchwood in the center and then the glass pane either side like this, and that will finish off both the 3rd and 4th floors of the house. That is what you want to have. And I notice it is getting very dark, but that is the whole front of the house taken care of. Once we're back, we're now going to just take care of the left, right hand sides and the back of the house, which are equally as easy. So I'll be back in a moment with the daylight. Alright guys, so now that we've taken care of the entire front of the house, it's now time for us to take care of both of the sides and the back. And I'm just going to be doing this exactly how I've just done the front. It's just going to be a show and tell sort of deal. So I'm going to take care of the entire side of this house. I'll start with the left hand side and then I'll do the right, and then I'll just show you what you're supposed to do. It's a lot easier than the front, since it's all kind of like on the same level, and it's just a very simple pattern that you have to follow for most of these panels. There's just nothing difficult that you have to do with these, and a lot of these panels I've just reused and slap them onto the sides here. So we've actually just about done this entire side. I don't think you guys are going to have any problem with this whatsoever. I could completely cut this out of the recording and show you guys like a still of this side of the house, and you'd manage to do it no problem. There's absolutely nothing hard about this whatsoever, but I figure I may as well just keep it in the recording since I've kept everything else. So this is the left-hand side of the house. As I said, a lot of this reused a lot of these panels, but it's very easy to see exactly what I've done in which panels. You guys shouldn't have any problem applying this to your house. So pause this, copy what I have on my screen onto your house, and then continue on. And I'm just going to quickly move over to the other side now and do the exact same thing. Literally the exact same thing. It's just mirrored, of course, because it's on this side of the house. Why has spruce got to be so awkward to place? I swear that there was a time in Minecraft, and I've said this a few times already, building these wooden houses, I've obviously came across it. I swear there was a time in Minecraft, especially the Xbox version, that you could... Please leave, sheep. That you could place spruce wood in only one way. Or did I imagine that? Was that some sort of lucid dream, some sort of fantasy in which I couldn't mess up the placement of spruce wood? I'm sure I had the same dream about stairs as well. I need to know. There was a point, I'm sure there was. I didn't always have a problem placing both wood and stairs. I'm sure I didn't. At some point I was semi-competent at it. Oh, I've picked up an egg, how nice. So, as you can see, this is the right-hand side of the house. Even though there's a sheep in the way, I'm sure that you guys can see exactly what you have to do. It is just a copy of the other side of the house, and there is just absolutely nothing complicated about it whatsoever. That is all you have to do, and once you've taken care of that, pause this, of course, apply this to yours. Once you've taken care of that, there is only one side left to do, which is the back of the house. So again, this is very, very easy, and I'm going to be doing this exactly how I've done every single one of the other sides. So the back of the house is, again, we're just copying panels that we've already done quite a few times already, except the placement of them's just a little bit weird. So first we've just got a strip of those up the back, and then we've just got to add in quite a lot of horizontal spruce wood in all of the other panels, and then we've just got to fill them in. I just want to add all of the spruce wood first, since that's kind of like the antagonistic material. Everything else is pretty easy, which is saying something considering the fact that I'm using glass pane. Glass pane used to be a real problem, but now it's all woods and stairs. It's all awful. So just got that left hand side filled in. And again, just to repeat it, you shouldn't have too much trouble just looking at the back of this house and seeing exactly what you have to do. So just going to... Oh, I missed one. I missed this little section of the spruce wood. I thought something was a little weird, so just got to do this. Got a little bit more birch wood to add in, and then I've just got a load more glass pane. Glass pane up the centre here. Oh, fireworks in the background. Those have been going off non-stop. I don't know what the occasion is, but over the past few days, non-stop fireworks. So, there you go. That is what you want to have for the entire back of the house. As you can see, there is kind of a rhyme/reason to the back of the house. That is what you want to have. Very simple indeed. All of the panels are very easy to do, just like the sides, just like the front. Pause this video, apply this to the back of your house, and once you've done that, you have actually finished the entire exterior of your house. The only thing left to do, if you actually want to do it, if you don't just want your house as like a shell display piece, well, that's exactly what I use them for, just kind of like a display piece, I never actually go inside them, then you can stop it here. However, what I'm going to do now, I'm going to cut out, I'm going to mess about with the interior a little bit, I'm not going to be doing much, I'm just going to be adding in floors and stairs, and then we'll just take a nice tour, and then we'll do a nice 360-degree view of the house. So I'll be back in a minute once I've done all of those things. So I have literally just finished messing about with the interior of the house. I've not done anything exciting, but let's take a look anyway, shall we? So let's delve into this. That was a nice smooth entrance. I shouldn't have mentioned that, I should have remained cool. So, the first thing you may notice is I have, of course, ripped up the original floor and I've replaced it with spruce wood planks. I've actually went a little darker this time, I've went with a bit of a darker motif. Usually I decide to go with the birchwood planks for the floor, for whatever reason. However, I went a little darker this time, and I immediately regretted it, so much so that I had to counterbalance it by adding some torches about the place, which I don't usually do. However, the base floor looks kinda cool. The first floor looks pretty good. It feels very old-timey for some reason, especially with these beams here. And these beams are really cool. They also help to kind of hide the stairs a little bit. I don't usually like seeing stairs too much, to be honest with you. Of course, you have to navigate the property, but I still don't like them. I tried to keep these stairs at a minimum. I didn't want to try and make them too fancy, and you guys will see why as we traverse up the house. So, as you can see, already getting to the second floor, stairs are they kind of take up quite a bit of space, and the reason that I wanted to try and keep them cramped away in this corner, I just always figure that you want to be able to get out of the house, in and out of the house, onto the balconies, into the house, whatever you have to do, getting in and out. I always figure it should be nice and easy, shouldn't be too difficult, and, well, that's the reason that I've decided to cramp the stairs in the corners of the house. Of course, it makes it additionally difficult, especially when you've got so many entrances, so many balconies on this second floor, so that's why I've got them all crammed into the corner. That's why I've not tried to make them look fancy at all. However, that's the most economical way that I've found of dealing with the stairs, just keeping them all nice and cramped in the corner, and I put some banisters around them in the form of nether brick fences. I forgot the name of those for a moment. In nether brick fences, just so that it's a little harder to fall off moving from floor to floor. So coming up to the third floor again, space is quite the problem, especially when you've got all of these doors and entrances and exits all dotted about the place, and especially when you've got to throw in an extra set of stairs to get into the little watchtower is what I'm calling it now. So yeah, space is kind of a problem, especially with this house. It looks quite big from the outside, and it kind of is, but it's deceptive. It's only the ground floor that you've actually got a reasonable amount of space. But let's take a look at the little watchtower, the fourth level of the house, if you will. Can't really get anything up here. There's just nothing. I guess you could put a couple of chests, maybe a bed, but that's it. The purpose of this room is probably just aesthetic, although it is kind of cool. I like extra rooms, especially when they're hidden, although that one isn't really hidden. It is cool though, I like it. I don't regret putting it there, and there you go. So that's just the interior of the house. I've not done anything special, as I said. The reason that I like to show you guys the interiors is just so that you can expect, or just so that you guys know what to expect from the interior before you even make the house, or once you've made the house and you've messed about with it, whether you guys want to decide whether you actually want to put the effort into messing about with the interior, if you can get what you want from it. I know a lot of you guys actually want to use these houses in like survival mode and stuff, and you want to use it for storage and what have you. However, I know quite a few of you guys are a bit like me, where you just don't want to use these houses for any reason. I have a whole world of these where I just have them next to each other, and I like looking at them. I don't like going into them. I just like to look at the outside. It never occurs to me to actually enter them, and that's why I don't like doors either. I usually leave the doors off. And I don't actually like the doors on this house, going off on a random tangent here. I'd much prefer to just leave those doors off, and I think that the house would look even better. However, I do think that this house is quite aesthetically appeasing, not pleasing. Although that's probably a word, pleasing? Maybe? I don't know, if not I've just made it up. And this is probably my favourite view, and this is the one that I'm going to leave you guys with. If you guys have managed to follow this tutorial dot for dot, assuming that I've managed to get everything right, you should be left with something that should look exactly like this. So, thank you guys for watching, and I will see you in the next video.